Good afternoon, everybody. Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is February 15th, 2018, and it's time for our daily Bible study. Let's get in the Word, guys. Okay, I want to show you something about the time frame of Moses' death, the entrance into the Promised Land, and something that I have seen here. Someone brought my attention to this information, and I have studied it out. It seems to be correct, and all I am going to do right now is present to you what I see and leave you all the information so you can study this out on your own if you want to, okay? And so what I have seen is that the death of Moses was on the last day of Shevat, which is coinciding with everything else we are seeing on the 29th day of Shevat, which is February 16th and 17th of 2018, the death of Moses. Okay, now here's what I am going to present to you, because most teachings show that he died on Adar 7, but I'm going to bring some information to you from the scriptures and just show you what I'm seeing, and you guys can study this out for yourself, okay? All right, Deuteronomy 34:7. Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated. The children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab for 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. Okay, so this is Deuteronomy 34. It shows that from the death of Moses, there was 30 days of mourning. So we've got a full month of mourning. Okay, then I'm moving into the book of Joshua, and what I'm going to show you here is each of the time spans that are shown within the book of Joshua. I have read from Deuteronomy chapter 31 all the way to Joshua chapter 4. You have to read through everything to see the time frames that are being revealed within this. And so in Joshua 1:11, it says, "For within 3 days you shall pass over this Jordan." Okay? 3 days you will pass over this Jordan. So there's Moses' death plus 30 days plus 3 days. Then it goes on to say that there were 3 days of spying out the land. So when the Lord said, "In 3 days you will pass over this Jordan," in 3 days they were passing over the Jordan, but it wasn't the whole group yet. It was the spies. And so the 3 days of spying out the land in Joshua 2:22 through 24, it shows another 3-day span of the spies that were in the land, okay? So now we have Moses' death, 30 days of mourning, 3 days, and another span of 3 days. Then in Joshua chapter 3, after they spied out the land, it shows that there were another 3 days that passed. After 3 days, another 3 days had passed, okay? So each of these time frames is shown within the Bible. You've got 3 days, and then 3 days, and then another 3 days. And Moses, so now what we have then is we have Moses' death plus 30 days, plus 3 days, plus 3 days, plus 3 days. This is the third span of 3 days that we are seeing in this. And then in Joshua 3:5, it goes on to say, "Tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you." Tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. So after the last span of 3 days, then he reaches a day and he says, tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. So now we have Moses' death plus 30 days, plus 3 days, plus 3 days, plus 3 days, plus 1 day. So, after we get through the end of this, then we see Moses' death plus 30 days plus 10 days, or Moses' death plus 40 days. Then it goes on to say in Joshua 4:19, they crossed the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month. Joshua 4:19, they crossed the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, Nisan 10. Okay, so we have an absolute date within this scenario. It's the 10th day of the first month. Okay, this is absolutely Nisan. It's the new calendar. It's the Moses calendar based on the new month, the new year beginning in the month of Nisan. It's the month of Passover. Okay, and if we read on in the book of Joshua, this is confirmed that they go on to celebrate the Passover. Okay, so it's the first month of Nisan. It's the 10th of Nisan. They cross the Jordan into the Promised Land. Now we've seen that there are 40 days. So from Nisan 10, if we go back 40 days, that brings us to the last day of Shevat. This corresponds to February 16th and 17th, 2018. Okay, and this is the sign of the Jubilee, is the death of Moses at the end of the 120 years. Because he died on his 120th birthday. Okay, now let's see something else, okay? How about Moses' birthday? Can we know what day he was born? Okay, Deuteronomy 31:2. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I am 120 years old this day. And so Moses died on the same day that he was born, this day. Because if you read from Deuteronomy 31 all the way to Deuteronomy 34, there is no time span within that. You know, when we're in Joshua, it shows 3 days and 3 days, 3 days and 1 day. But from the time that Moses goes up into the mountain and begins to give his discourse unto Joshua and unto the people, that was the day he went up there. And then from Deuteronomy 31:2 to Deuteronomy 34:7, there is no time span. This is all happening on that one day. It's the same day that he spoke, I am 120 years old this day, is the same day he died, when it says Moses was 120 years old when he died. Deuteronomy 34:7, there is no difference in the time span between those three chapters. Okay, so Moses died and was born on the same day, the last day of Shevat, Deuteronomy 31:2, Deuteronomy 34:7. After his death, there were 30 days of mourning. There were 3 spans of 3 days or 9 days. And there was one more day, which was the day that they said, tomorrow the Lord will do wonders amongst you. So that was one day before they crossed the Jordan. Okay, Joshua 4:19 shows absolutely that they crossed the Jordan on Nisan 10, which was the 10th day of the first month. So what we have then is we have Moses' death and birth were on the last day of Shevat. 30 days of mourning takes us from the last day of Shevat to the first day of Nisan, Nisan 1. And then we have 9 plus 1 days bringing us to Nisan 10. The entrance into the Promised Land, Nisan 10, Joshua 4:19. Okay? So what I want to leave with you guys right now is this study that you can read from Deuteronomy chapter 31 all the way to Joshua 4. It's basically 8 chapters. 8 chapters of the Bible. Okay? See what you guys think. Study this out for yourself. Okay? And I know that this goes against the popular teaching that Moses died on Adar 7. But the everything that I'm showing you is seen. Okay? The day spans are shown within the book of Joshua. 40 days from Nisan 10, which brings us to the dates that we've been watching. The birth and the death of Moses on the last day of Shevat. February 16th, 17th, 2018, okay? And this is the end of the 120 years, 120 times 50 Jubilees. This is our 6,000 year Jubilee sign, the death of Moses. The death of Moses. Okay, guys, I'll just leave everything for you in the description box. And check it out. I pray you guys get into the Word, okay? Get into the Word. Study it out for yourself. Love you guys. Have a great afternoon. God bless.